Sir,
Okay, all right, we're ready for our first case. Please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
I'm here for a parole hearing.
Okay, can you state your name and DOC number, please?
Dominick D. Varner, DOC number 519536.
Right, Dominic, you heard the introductions. We're here for a parole revocation hearing, actually. And so I'll read some rule violations. You can plead guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty with a statement. We'll ask you some questions. You can respond. At the end, you can.
Parole hearing. I'm not here for court.
You're here for parole revocation.
I'm here for parole hearing. I already got my paper right here in my pocket, but actually, and I know y'all got my money, and if you got some charges on me, you can make it court right now, and then I'm ready to go back to my cell after this.
All right, you don't want to have the hearing?
I'm gonna have my parole hearing.
This is a parole revocation hearing.
So what would that mean?
That means we're here to decide if you're gonna be revoked or you're gonna get out. That's what we decide.
Well, I didn't already been took out parole, and if y'all enforce some more parole, y'all can only escort me, and we can go on with the hearing.
Well, can you read and write?
I can read and write.
Do you have a parole revocation questionnaire in front of you?
I got all my paper here.
You got something that says parole revocation questionnaire?
Yeah, I got all my paper here.
Is that your signature at the bottom?
No, that's not my signature right there. That's the deputy's signature.
You refuse to sign the paper, right?
I ain't referred to sign that. He just gave me that this morning. These are all the papers my parole officer gave me.
Okay, do you want to have there, look on, see, that's the parole revocation questionnaire I was giving you, and then you didn't sign it, so you see that.
This was just given me at the key when they brought me out and put me in shackles and had me this. And this is my probation with parole.
All right, well, do you want to move forward with this parole revocation question hearing or not?
Sir, you can move on with it if you want to.
Okay, here we go. Dominick Varner, DOC number 519536. Rule number 2, you failed to submit monthly report. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty with a statement?
Well, I done paid. I ain't, if I paid.
No, you plead guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement, or not guilty statement. What do you plead?
To the statement.
Huh?
I done plead guilty to the statement. Yeah.
Guilty with a statement. All right, number 4. On August the 21st, 2020, I'll let you talk in a minute. On August 21st, 2022, you were arrested by the Monroe Police Department for disturbing the peace, criminal trespass, resisting an officer, and resisting an officer with violent force. On 9/15/2022, you pled guilty to resisting arrest, of disturbing the peace, of criminal trespasses, was dismissed on August 21st, 2022. How do you plead to that?
I done already plead guilty.
Plead guilty. All right. Number 4, on September 19, 2022, you were arrested by Monroe for possession of drug paraphernalia, contraband into a penal institution. On 9/29/22, you pled guilty to possession of drug paraphernalia, contraband, was dismissed. On how do you plead to that?
Plead guilty to what? I ain't hear the charge. You got me pleading guilty to it for that second one.
Okay. Number 4, on November 2022, you were arrested by Monroe Police for criminal trespass, resisting an officer, battery of a police officer, possession of drug paraphernalia, contraband into a penal institution. The bill of information dated 11/14/2022, OUA hashtag 22CR005489-5, showing the 11/6/2022 offenses had been amended to possession of drug paraphernalia, simple battery of a police officer, and 2 counts of resisting an officer. On 1/26/23, on 1/26/20, you pled guilty to anything. Okay. On 1/26/2023, you pled guilty battery since the night to jail. So how do you plead on that? Guilty? All right. How do you plead to the last one? You said guilty. All right. Well, answer Mr. Marabella's question, Chair.
Mr. Varner, are you on any kind of medication?
I'm not on any medication.
Before you came back to prison, were you on any kind of medication?
No, no, no,
Have you ever had any mental health treatment?
no.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we vote?
No, no,
Why
no.
didn't you
I'm
put to
pleading
your
guilty,
parole?
I'm pleading guilty, so I'm already, well, if they charge, how can I be on parole? If y'all just corrected me and put me and file charges against me, how can I be on parole? But I already am on parole, but these are charges.
Why didn't you report to your parole officer?
I
when you
reported,
got
and I'm
out?
paid, I ain't gotta go speak to him every day. I done just paid him off and I have came on my visits and paid, and that is it. And y'all can believe me or y'all can't, and I done plead guilty. Y'all can go and give me my time and go and get it over with.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Prepared to vote?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Marabella.
Based upon his numerous arrests, numerous pleas, in my,
Ms. Renata.
He pled guilty to violating condition number 2 and number 4 of three different arrests.
All right. Well, you play, I vote to revoke you as well. Pled guilty to found you guilty. So today your parole's been revoked. Good luck to you. We'll adjourn at 8:21.
All right. My parole will be revoked, so I don't got no more charges. Don't say that anymore.
Hello, can y'all hear us? Can you hear us okay? Orleans Parish.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is one of the officers there today?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me talk to her. We'll get with you in a minute. Ma'am, can you come to the mic?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if y'all ready, we'll go ahead and start with our preliminaries. So y'all get ready for the preliminaries, and when I come to you, I want you to tell us everyone that's there in the meeting room. Okay?
Okay, I only have him for the parole.
Do what?
I only have him up here for parole.
I understand, but I want you to be there to tell us when everybody's in there, and then we'll get with him. Okay? At
Okay.
the time the meeting will become the order of Baton Rouge staff, if you would state your name.
Deputy T. Sterling.
That's Orleans Parish.
Teresa Dawn.
Leah Roten,
John Boche.
Gail Garion, Sherrod Blake.
Orleans Parish Prison.
Yes, sir.
State your name, everyone that's in the room.
Chad Lightfoot.
I'm talking about the officers.
Is this only me?
Okay. All right, thank you. Today's hearing will be a Zoom hearing. Today's date is June 11th, 2020. The time is 8:38 a.m. On the panel today to Mr. Alvin Roche and also Ms. Pearl Wise and myself, Jim Wise. I'll be chairing today. We're going to be hearing an interview that was done with Mr. Alvin Roche on a Chad Lightfoot DOC number 301162. Parole eligibility 6/30/2019. And the date of the interview was 6/2/2020 at 1 p.m. by Mr. Alvin Roche. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Alvin Roche.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was unable to contact Orleans Parish, so the interview was never completed. So we're going to do a live hearing with Mr. Lightfoot on this morning. Mr. Lightfoot, would you please give your full name and your DOC number?
Yes, my name is Chad Avery Lightfoot. My DOC number is 301162.
Mr. Lightfoot, would you just lower your mask and lower your nose so we can, there you go. And give us your DOC number again.
DOC number is 301162.
Thank you, Mr. Lightfoot. My name is Alvin Roche. To the upper right of your screen was Pearl Wise and Mr. Jim Wise. Before I start my interview, I just want to let you know that I did get the letter from Pastor Shepherd, and I read that completely. And I did get the letter from your sister, Miss Monette. So I have read both of those letters in time. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lightfoot, you're currently 48 years old, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you've been incarcerated for 3 years, of a 7.5-year sentence, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been at Elkins Parish Prison?
I've been here back and forth. I've been here back and forth the entire time of the length of incarceration.
Okay, and you there because you had a status hearing last Thursday, right?
Yes, sir.
And tell me exactly what happened at that status hearing.
At the status hearing, it was continued till June of the
June 24th. June 24th.
Yeah, June 24th.
Yes.
Okay, now, so that you still have pending charges in Orleans Criminal Court for perjury and offenses against the Louisiana Racketeering Act. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And in July of 2019, you also was convicted by a jury in the Western District of Louisiana U.S. Court, and you received a 71-month sentence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that sentence is going to be enacted upon release from state incarceration. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
That sentence, the 71-month sentence in federal court is going to be activated upon release from state custody.
Yes, sir.
So you have at least 5 years in federal prison because you have to serve at least 85% of that sentence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. To my understanding, yes, sir.
Okay. And you still have pending charges in Orleans Parish.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's go through your arrest record, Mr. Lightfoot. Mr. Lightfoot, started in 1990, you were arrested for armed robbery, second-degree kidnapping, and aggravated burglary. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That was in Morgan City, Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
And you pled guilty and received a 22-year sentence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
In 2004, you were arrested by the Louisiana State Police and charged with aggravated flight of an officer and traffic violations. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
205, identity theft, perjury, and theft. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, in 2005, it was what?
In 2005, in St. Mary's Parish, you were arrested for identity theft, forgery, and theft.
Yes, sir.
211 in Orleans Parish, domestic abuse battery.
Yes, sir.
In Kenner, Louisiana, aggravated assault.
Yes,
That's about
sir.
right. Patterson, Louisiana, 3 counts of simple battery. Is that correct?
I don't recall that one,
Okay, 2013, you were in Patterson, Louisiana, and you were arrested on August 24th, 2013, and charged with 3 counts of simple battery.
yes, sir.
And you're in jail right now for theft, insurance fraud, and perjury. Is that correct? You're in jail right now for theft, insurance fraud, and perjury. Is that correct?
No, sir. I mean, I'm,
Okay, those charges were now processed.
yes, sir, they were all dismissed.
Okay. Now, in Franklin, Louisiana, simple battery. You're in jail right now for bank fraud, monetary abuse of an instrument, and identity theft. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you have pending charges in Orleans Parish right now for offenses against the Racketeering Act and for perjury. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Would you say you have a very extensive criminal background?
Yes, sir.
So tell me why this panel should release you from incarceration when you have pending charges in Orleans Parish and you have this extensive criminal background.
Well, sir, I do understand that I do have an extensive arrest history. However, on most of those charges, that's all they resulted to was an arrest. I wasn't convicted of
Right.
a majority of the things that, you called out. I served a long time on parole, and because of my parole status, at the time the allegations were brought up, which, and because of my initial conviction back in 1990, most of the time it would result into me being arrested. However, like I said, I would most of the time be released after they investigate the situation. And like I say, all it would do is result to an arrest, but most of the time I was released.
Okay, now,
Incarceration.
okay, I understand exactly what you said, and you've all been convicted of 2 felonies in Louisiana.
That's correct.
Okay, what happened to a conviction by a jury of your peers in 2019 for fraud?
You asked me what happened?
No, I said, what about you were convicted by a jury of your peers of fraud? Is that correct?
Yes, I went to trial in Monroe, Louisiana, and I was found guilty of a FEMA fraud.
Okay, were you guilty?
Yes.
Okay. And now you have other charges in Orleans Parish against the Louisiana Racketeering Act and perjury.
Yes, sir.
Do you plan to go to trial on those charges?
Yes, sir. Those charges have been pending for the last 64 months. I was initially arrested back in January of 2015. And like I said, it's been pending for over 64 months. I have repeatedly try to get the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office to afford me a trial in regards to those allegations. But to, you know, up to date, we've been unsuccessful in that event. And right now, I'm just waiting for, to actually have my day in court in that situation.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Pearl Wise, do you have any questions?
I just want to state on the record, sir, that we did receive a letter from the Orleans Parish District Attorney's Office, and they are opposed to your early release. They cited 3 reasons, due to your extensive criminal history, your federal conviction, and your pending case in Orleans Parish Court as their reason for their being opposed to your early release. And that's all I wanted to put on the record. I have no questions.
Mr. Wise, you're muted.
I don't have any question. Mr. Lightfoot, is there anything you'd like to say before Mr. Roche gives his vote?
Yes, sir. I would like to explain to the board or let the board know that the offenses to which I'm accused of, I haven't committed a violent act against anyone. The situation to which I do stand charged and convicted of, it didn't involve any person or whatever besides myself. There was no harm convicted, no harm imposed on anyone besides myself. I do have 4 young children out there that were dependent upon my support for financially and things of that nature. I can assure this board that I'll do my best as a parolee, should I be granted parole, to conduct myself in a fashion that society would expect me to conduct myself in. I truly apologize that I haven't been able to participate in any programs that would have brought about a favorable decision from the board to work in my favor. However, there were no programs offered because of my present state of incarceration in this facility, which there are no programs offered. I would like to ask the board to look at the fact that I did, that I served time on parole before, and I completed 10 years of parole without a violation. I was arrested during the course of that time, but like I said, I did complete it with no violation whatsoever. And I think that if given a chance, I can show this board that, I can conduct myself in an orderly fashion. I was released once before from prison, and like I said, I served extensively. Matter of fact, I served 10 years on parole, and I conducted myself accordingly. Even after parole, even after being excused from parole, I remained in good standing for quite a while. And I'd ask the board to please take that into consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Lightfoot.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
we
sir.
ready?
Thank you very much. At this time, Mr. Alvin Roche will be giving his vote.
Thank you, Mr. Wise. Mr. Lightfoot, you have some very special circumstances. You're incarcerated in Louisiana. You have a conviction only 11 months ago in the Western District of Louisiana for fraud. You are waiting a 71-month federal sentence after this incarceration. We have pending charges in Orleans Criminal District Court. We have an extensive criminal history. We have a federal detainer, which was issued in August of 2019. We have law enforcement opposition. We have very strong opposition from the DA's office, and there's a lack of programs. For those reasons, my vote is to deny your request.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, Ms. Pearl Wise.
My vote is to deny as well for the reasons that already been stated on the record. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Also, I vote to deny because of the reasons stated. Sir, today you've been denied. Is that our last case there at Orleans Parish today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that'll conclude our hearings. It's 9:08 a.m. Want to thank each and every one from Orleans Parish. Thank y'all very much. That'll conclude our hearings today at Orleans Parish.
Okay.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Wise.
Good morning.
Please start the preliminary.
Okay, at this time, today's date is 6/11/2020. The time is 9:04 a.m. Today we'll be conducting a Zoom hearing. The panel today will be Pearl Wise, Alvin Roche, and my name is Jim Wise. I'll be chairing. On staff for the parole board in Baton Rouge, if you would state your name.
Teresa Dorn.
Leah Rowe.
Gail Guerin,
John Person.
Sharon Blake.
All right, thank you. At Hunts Correctional Center, if you would, the staff there, would you state your name?
Christy LeBlanc, classification.
Joe Buttress, Assistant Warden.
Warden Hopar.
Kirk Guerin,
Assistant
Warden.
Okay, thank y'all very much. At this time, we're going to be conducting a hearing. Sir, if you would, state your name. for the record?
NordWood Sutton,
DOC number?
354373.
Okay, thank you, sir. You are a first offender manslaughter, 2 counts, and you were sentenced on 5/15/1995 for 30 years hard labor on each count to run consecutive. The parole date is 4/15/2014 with a good time not eligible, and full term of 4/23/2054. Also today, we have,
Mr. Wise.
yes, sir.
Okay, so you want to tell you who we have here for this hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
We have in opposition, we have the DA, Assistant DA from the 24th JDC, Randy Meyer. We have the victim's mother, Miss Mary Green. She would like to speak in opposition this morning. We have the victim's sister, Miss Juwania Williams, also here in opposition. And their names are on the screen, so you'll be able to see who's who here. And then we have 3 people here in support. We have Miss Unica Oob, who is a friend. We have Zakia Clement, who is the sister of the offender, and she will be speaking this morning. And then we have Warren Bernard, who is a brother, also in support.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Lynn. At this time, I'd like to introduce the board members today. Ms. Pearl Wise and Mr. Alvin Roche will be sitting on the board. My name is Jim Wise. I'll be chairing. I was assigned this case today, so I'll be asking some questions. Today is a rehearing. You had a hearing back in 2017, which you were denied on that hearing. Today, you could come before a new hearing. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about that I was a little confused over, you had a disciplinary write-up back in okay, you had a disciplinary on 7/25/2019. What was that disciplinary for?
I'm trying to figure, I don't remember receiving any disciplinary write-up, sir.
On 7/25/19, you was at St. Charles and you had a disciplinary write-up. Then you got transferred to Riverbend Detention Center on 7/26/2019.
Yes, sir. I never received a write-up, sir. I never been in front of disciplinary board. I never received a write-up or anything.
And then you went to LaFourche Transitional Work Program on 11/18/19. And then you was back in custody on 1/14/20 at LaFourche Parish. What did you go to a transitional work program?
Yes, sir.
What was you doing in the work program?
I was working for BJ Morton offshore company.
All right. Well, why did they move you in January 14/20?
It had to be from a incident that I was transferred from. I was in St. John. I never was in St. Charles.
Okay. Why did they take you out of the transitional work program?
Because of a conspiracy to introduce contraband. Only conspiracy. I was shook down. I never was found with possession or anything like that, sir.
But you was removed out of the transitional work program.
Yes, sir. Because of I got rearrested in St. John for that, and that's why. And the warrant came up, and that's why I was kicked out of work release.
Okay. Warden Hooper, can you enlighten us on any of that?
There's no disciplinary write-up in the record besides the one in 7/28/2010. We have no.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Sutton, what programs have you taken since you've been incarcerated?
I took several programs, sir. I took 2 substance abuse treatment programs. I took risk management phase 1 and 2. I took living in balance and cage raid. I took parenting. I took reducing anger feelings, and several Bible study programs also, sir.
Yes, sir. During the time,
I've acquired welding skills and culinary skills also during my incarceration.
yes, sir. During the time of your incarceration, wonder why you was moved around a lot. You had to go from one place to another. You was over at St. Charles, and then you moved to another place, and then you just kept moving. Why was the reason for the movement so much?
Like I say, it wasn't because of disciplinary, because I never received any types of write-ups or anything. But like if a jail get crowded, they'll just rotate you around, sir.
Well, Mr. Sutton, I was looking at some of your charges there. What was the reason for this right here, this incident right here with manslaughter? Just give me something brief.
It was a drug related crime, sir.
Well, what happened?
It was a drug related crime, and it was three of us on this charge. I got the longest sentence, and we passed words with each other, and things just got out of hand, sir. I was 17 years old at the time.
Okay. Mr. Sutton, I just want to let you know there's some opposition against your release.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Excuse me.
Law enforcement and victims opposition is on your release. But one of the things that now you mean to tell me they had you working offshore and they taken you from offshore, and did you say they filed a charge on you?
Yes, sir.
What was the charge they put on you?
It was supposed to be a conspiracy charge.
Who charged you for
It was supposed to come from St. John.
And we do have a subpoena for him to appear in St. John the Baptist on July 1st, 2020 at 9 a.m.
You have a pending charge? Is it on the pending charge of?
It looks like it, but it don't say nothing about a pending charge. It says to appear and or testify. So they may be using it for a witness. They don't say.
Okay. All right. I don't have any other questions.
Yeah, it looks like the charges are gonna be against him. It's state versus him, so. Yeah, it's gonna be new charges pending.
All right. You know, you have a pending charge here in July coming up here. There's at this time, I'm gonna let Miss Pearl Wise ask you some questions.
Mr. Sutton, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Wise.
I just want to remind you that on the last hearing of 2017, I was the only one that voted for you. So I'm disappointed about the write-ups and the new charges.
I don't have no write-ups, Ms. Wise.
But you're right. I take that back. There were indications of disciplinaries in the file, but the warden has cleared. You've had no write-ups since July 28th to 2010. That's correct.
Yes,
but your involvement that resulted in a conspiracy matter, that's disappointing, and that's concerning to me. And I just wanted to state that.
Yes, ma'am. And it's just, I wasn't participating in any of that. They want to use me as a witness to testify against the two guys that was actually caught with the marijuana, ma'am.
Wow. All I can do is urge you to write back when all that is cleared up, depending on how this goes today.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I had. It sounds unfortunate. That's all I had, Chairman.
At this time, Mr. Alvin Roche will be asking you some questions.
Mr. Chairman, I have no questions.
Okay. At this time, I see you have some support. Who would like to speak for him in support?
Ms. Clement will be speaking on his support as for him.
Okay, Ms. Clement?
Yes, good morning.
Okay, you speak to the board, anything you have to say, be sure it's said directly to the board members.
Okay, this is, my name is Zykia Clement. I'm a little bit nervous this morning. I'm sorry, I'm a little shaky. But I am NordWood's younger sister. My mother has 3 kids, 2 boys, 1 girl. NordWood is the oldest of 3. And the first thing I want to do is give my condolences to the family, because we have been on the other side of the table. So we understand what the family is going through, the grief of the family. My mom was murdered in 2008. So I know the hurt that this family has been through and the grieving of this families, because it's 2 families. And, you know, he's a great person. He has one of the biggest hearts I know. And I, you know, when they were boys and they teenagers and they engaging in all these different activities, the parents don't know their whereabouts. They commit these crimes, and they're boys. They don't know. And I do believe that people can change, you know, after serving so many years incarcerated, like mentally, you have to change, you know. NordWood has never been in no trouble before. He was not a problem child. You know, he was raised by a single mother, you know, with an absent father. What these kids need, they need an active dad. They need their fathers. He was fatherless. That's no excuse though. But I do feel the pain that this family is feeling. And I know the years have passed and things, you know, go on and you try to cope with it, but trust me, I understand the pain. I lost my mama to this type of crime, this type of violence. Like, I really feel like if he gets a second chance, he's gonna make an impact with the new generation that's coming up. These young kids need guidance, and I feel like NordWood is a perfect role model to demonstrate just being back into society after being young and being locked up and coming out and just sharing his story with other boys. Like him being incarcerated, he can save a lot of lives out here today. We want to really focus on his future. He has abundance of support over here on this end. He has aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, friends, everything over here. We are working with him. Trust me. I have a brother. He's been in the Marines 20 plus years. We know he knows about structure and discipline and how to be a man. He leaves this country every day. And he has jobs lined up already for him if he is released into society. We have jobs lined up for him. We have pastors. My pastor, my church members are here today at my house this morning just to support him through this Zoom call. We have my brother on the line. We also have my grandmother. She couldn't be here because she's in the hospital. She's been diagnosed with the coronavirus. So like, I know how it is to have someone taken that you love, you know, and it's like, the other family, we haven't met with one family, but we met with one other family because we grew up with some of the kids, me and my brother. And we have become close with this family. We talk to this family on a daily basis. This family knows me and my brother, where we come from and what we done been through, just dealing with this tragedy. On top of my mother being killed in 2008, me and this family and my brother have become really close. They wanted to be here today to support him. I have letters from their family, from their sisters, from their brothers, from their mom, saying that they would accept him coming into society, you know, and we're gonna support, we're gonna do what we have to do to make sure he's a productive citizen. I believe in my heart as his sister, I believe he has changed. He is a whole different person from when he went in all of those years ago. And that's just, you know, my side of it. And I just hope that, you know, we can all come to some type of agreement, you know, in a positive way to, you know, see this through, hopefully, you know, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, ma'am, thank you very much. At this time, Ms. Green will be the victim, be speaking. Dave, if you would unmute your mic and speak to the board. Anything you have to say, speak directly to the board. Thank you very much. Unmute your mic. Ma'am, unmute your mic. Ma'am, unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. We can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm very new to
Thank
this.
you very much. I can hear you now. The board can hear you.
But board, I have listened to Mr. NordWood speak on his personal behalf. I've also listened to the sister. And I'm sorry. And I'm really lost for words because there seemed to be an ongoing drug-related issue here, and that's where it started. So I'm concerned as to where is it going to end. I keep getting a blank picture, so I'm not sure if I'm still on the screen.
Yes, ma'am, we can see you and we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, thank you. But again, you know, I hear Mr. Sutton, and I know the beginning started with drugs, and it seemed to be after what, 26 years, 25, 26 years, that he's still going through the very same, which is a concern of mine. He's still participating, and whether it's cover up or what with drugs, but yes, he's still, you know, he's still involved in it. As for the testimony or the statement from his sister, I understand that they feel like he has been reformed. I cannot say whether he's been reformed because I haven't been there. All I can say is that we, as the victims, did not place him there, did not make the choice or the decision for him to do what he did. And as a result, he was sentenced by the judge, who we feel like, hey, it's out of our hands. But personally, I'm not sure if he's been reformed because, you know, of his recent drug involvement. I sympathize with the mother, the sister, with concerning her mother. I too have been in touch with the other victims' family. The mother of Donald Jenkins is not pleased with his coming home. The sister is not pleased with his coming home. So who gave her information? I'm not certain because I have spoken to them as recent as today, and they are not pleased with him coming home. they don't feel like he has been reformed or he's paid for the crime. So that's basically it. I don't have much to try and cover. The thing is, I would like to, just say that it's out of our hands. It's left up to the board, which is the judge and the court system.
Okay, ma'am, thank you very much. You would mute your mic. At this time, we'll hear from Mr. Randall Meyer.
Good morning. Are y'all able to see and hear me? Normally I see my picture.
Yes, sir. We can hear you good, Mr. Myers.
Okay, Randy Meyer, Assistant DA Jefferson Parish. And we're opposed to Mr. Sutton's release. While the hearing's been going on, I did confirm with St. John the Baptist Parish that there are pending charges concerning Mr. Sutton. In this case, he used a firearm in a drug transaction, which I've always got an issue with because what happened here is what tends to happen. Two people got shot and killed. I spoke with the Jenkins family, which is the other individual who was murdered. They did not want to relive the incident again, and so they did not want to participate, but they wanted me to express their opposition to his parole also. So those reasons we remain opposed to his request, particularly the pending charges that he's had, which kicked him out of work release.
Okay, thank you very much. Warden Hoopers, anything you have to say to the board?
No, we good.
Okay. Mr. Sutton, if you would, anything you'd like to say before the board makes a decision? This will be your final statement. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, sir, I'd like to tell Ms. Mary Green that I'm sorry for taking her son's life. And I just want to ask her, could she just forgive me, sir? Because like my sister said, my mother was killed also. My mother fiance shot her 3 times. And I learned in life, if I want forgiveness, I gotta be able to forgive. And I'm just speaking and asking Ms. Green, would she please forgive me for the crime I committed and for the stress and pain I put towards her family, sir?
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. At this time, the board will be voting. I'll vote first because this was my case here today. I'm going to be voting to deny your parole. One of the reasons I'm voting to deny because you were removed from the transitional work program. You got pending charges in July at St. John Parish. Also, strong victims opposition, strong district attorney's opposition, and law enforcement opposition for your release. Today, I vote to deny. At this time, Ms. Pearl Wise will be voting.
Mr. Sutton, I concur with my colleague today. My vote is denied for the reasons that's already been outlined on the record. I encourage you to write back whenever you're eligible.
Mr. Alvin Roche. Unmute your mic, Mr. Roche.
Thank you, Mr. Wise. Before I vote, I'd like to tell Mr. NordWood and Ms. Clemens, I'm very sorry about your mother, and I send best wishes to your grandmother on her recovery. My vote is to deny, and basically for the same reasons mentioned by Mr. Wise.
Okay. Today, that'll conclude the hearing. Mr. Sutton, you have been denied on the reasons stated. And thank each and every one that participated today in this Zoom hearing. Thank you.